Chosen ones, the wait is over. The culmination has arrived. Have you felt the air thin out in the last few hours? November 15th is not an ordinary day. It is the turning of the key. In this window, the moon leaves the critique of Virgo and enters the mirror of Libra. The veil moves. This is not an ordinary moon. It is the activation window that finally repositions your choices and reveals what has always awaited you. If you have had restless nights, if waves of emotion have surged for no reason, if the synchronicities seem to be screaming, it was not chaos, it was preparation. The air is tuned. In this passage, the sky helps you with subtlety. Mercury retrograde cuts the mental noise so your truth can emerge. Jupiter retrograde amplifies only what is whole in you. What is real stabilizes. What is a facade begins to crumble. Today, I will show you the 5 clear signs that this turning of the key has already begun in your field. And at the end, we will anchor this new frequency with a clean right, the Earth-sky line right, to seal your field and ensure you only take what belongs to you. If your spirit recognizes this call, the time is now. To begin the rite and declare your choice, comment below. I turn the key. Chosen ones, the first sign that the turning of the key has begun is this. The world around you becomes clear. It is not an illusion. It is your perception, finally, aligning with the tuned air of this window. It is the veil moving. You look out the window, and the scenery is the same as yesterday, but the texture is different. The afternoon light seems denser, more present, as if you could see it weigh upon things. The colors gain a different depth, more tuned, more alive, as if someone adjusted the world's exact focus. More than that, the sound changes. The noise from the street seems more distant, and the sounds that matter, a specific voice, a note of music, the wind, seem to arrive with directional clarity. The silence between conversations stops being an uncomfortable void and starts to have substance, becoming a place of rest. This is not fantasy. It is your energetic field, previously overloaded by the noise and critique of Virgo, now touching the harmonic clarity of Libra's mirror. You have stopped processing the world only with your mind. Your body has begun to read the frequency. Where reality seemed chaotic, delayed, or full of effort, it begins to respond with perfect timing. You stop at a red light, and in that exact instant, the music on the radio delivers the keyword you needed to hear. You think of someone you haven't seen in months, and in the next minute, that person's name appears in a work email. You feel the impulse to take a different way home and find exactly what you weren't looking for but needed to see. The old mind, trained in randomness, will try to fight this. It will scream, "It's a coincidence." It will try to diminish the magic, classify it as luck or positive thinking. But here is the rule of this activation window. An isolated coincidence is chance. A pattern of coincidences is direction. Ignoring the pattern now is the real risk. It is choosing to remain in the noise when the sky is offering the signal. The universe is not testing you with complex riddles. It is being obvious. It is showing you, with crystalline clarity, where the flow is. What once seemed like a labyrinth of closed doors now reveals a single illuminated path. You no longer need to force, no longer need to push. You just need to observe. Where you once fought against time, feeling perpetually late, now you realize that time is on your favor. A meeting is cancelled and gives you back exactly the hour you needed to breathe before the next task. The person you needed to contact calls you before you even look for the number. payment that was stuck is suddenly released without explanation. This is what happens when your internal rhythm stops fighting and aligns with the cadence of the sky. Life stops pushing and starts to guide you. The air is tuned, and you, finally, are hearing the music. What to do with this first sign? Absolutely nothing. Do not run. Do not try to take advantage or turn this into frenetic productivity. The first sign does not ask for action. It asks for recognition. When you notice the perfect timing, when you see the sharper color, when the coincidence repeats for the third time, do not rationalize, just stop. This is the anchor gesture. Take 3 slow breaths. Feel the air enter and exit. Feel your feet on the ground, and then recognize it internally with calm awe. Just say, as a consent, I see. I see is your yes to the universe. It is your permission for the field to continue showing you the path. You don't need to understand the whole map. You just need to see the next step. If the world around you seems to have woken up, if the light has changed density and the perfect alignments have begun to happen, you are not imagining it. You are inside the shift. This is the first seal of your activation. The second sign that the turning of the key has begun is internal, and it needs no witnesses. Your internal climate shifts. Silence, which until yesterday was synonymous with anxiety, boredom, or a frightening vacuum that needed to be filled, begins to change texture. It begins to rest. It is not a silence that tightens, that throws you into rumination. It is a silence that gives space. That incessant background noise, the need to turn on music, a podcast, the TV, or to make small talk just to avoid the void, simply diminishes. You sit for 5 minutes and don't feel the impulse to run from yourself. You discover that your own company has stopped being a problem and has become a home again. With this silence comes the second marker, the reduction of explanations. Chosen one, think about how much life force you have spent in the last week just trying to justify your choices. Every no from you required a paragraph of justification. You felt you owed a full report to decline an invitation, to change your mind, or to validate a decision you already knew was correct. That was performative peace. It was the yes, said with a smile, which cost you the entire week's energy. It was the fear of disapproval. Now the mirror of Libra gives you back your authority. The need to perform dissolves. You begin to prefer peace with edges. Peace with edges is true harmony. It is not the peace that avoids conflict at all costs. It is the peace that protects your axis, even if it means creating slight friction. It is your ability to speak less and say it better. Where you would say, I would love to, but this week I'm so tired, and I have that project that never ends, and maybe on the weekend if it doesn't rain, maybe we can try. Now you say, calmly and with the tuned air, that's kind, but I can't today. Period. No excuses, no justification. The contour replaces the justification. You notice your voice gains a new weight. The words, now less numerous, carry more truth. This is Mercury retrograde helping you, cutting through the noise and the foam, so that only what is whole remains. This is the anchor gesture for this sign. Practice a clean, not now. When the request arrives, via WhatsApp, in an email, in a conversation, feel your body first. Do not respond on automatic. If it contracts, if you feel the exhaustion, even before accepting, that is your answer. Breathe. Return the answer with clarity. I appreciate it, but not now. This time, it won't be possible. You will notice that the world does not end. The person on the other side, in fact, often feels the relief of your clarity. You stopped offering a foam promise and delivered a clean truth, an honest edge. This is Libra in its highest expression, coherence with rest. The shift in the internal climate also manifests in how you handle external chaos. The same news that yesterday would have sent you into an anxiety spiral, today you read, absorb the fact, and close the tab. You stop inhabiting the problem and start just registering the information. It is not coldness, it is curating what enters. It is energy conservation. If your internal volume has lowered, if you have begun to exchange long explanations for short contours, and if silence has stopped being an enemy and become a place of rest. The second sign is active. The key is turning. The third sign that the turning of the key is active is profoundly practical. You will feel it in the flow of your day. The right doors begin to open without you needing to break them down, and the wrong doors close without drama. This is the mirror of Libra in its most physical form, moving from your internal climate to your external reality. The energy of this window, November 15th, does not want you to waste time on what is not yours. The tuned air has no patience for useless effort. The result is that the universe begins to give you clear answers. A right door opening doesn't look like a noisy miracle. It looks like ease. The email you dreaded writing gets a positive response in 5 minutes. The meeting you thought would be a battle flows with unexpected collaboration. The expert you needed to contact and didn't know how suddenly appears in your feed. The solution to a problem that seemed like a blind knot appears simply. A wrong door closing also loses its drama. The project you were pushing forward out of habit is suddenly cancelled. The proposal that wasn't 100% aligned with you is rejected. The person who always drained you stops responding. Before, you would interpret the closed door as failure. You would call the resistance a challenge and spend your life forced trying to prove you could do it. Now you understand. Resistance is a message. The closed door is not a punishment. It is an edge. It is the universe telling you, with the clarity of Libra, your effort is in the wrong place. Your energy does not belong here. This is Libra's criterion for this window. Respond to what facilitates and refuse what drains. To facilitate does not mean laziness, it means alignment. It is the path of least aligned resistance. It is the yes that flows. To drain is anything that requires you to justify yourself too much, to force yourself, to engage in performative peace, to fight against the tide just to maintain a character. To know the difference, the sky has given you an infallible compass. This is the body test. When you think about the action, does the body expand or contract? Pay attention. Expansion is the direction. Even if the action is scary, like making that important call that is flowing, it comes with a feeling of space in the chest, a deeper breath. The body says yes. Contraction is the noise. It is the stop sign. Even if the action seems comfortable or safe, like accepting that same old invitation which you already know will drain you, the body tightens. The chest closes, the throat tightens, the body says no. In this window, your body does not lie. Intuition becomes physical. The tuned air makes your nervous system a coherence detector. If it expanded, it is direction. If it contracted, it is noise. The anchor gesture for this sign is about transforming clarity into movement without falling into the paralysis of the big change. The turning of the key happens in the next gesture. Take a piece of paper. Don't think about the 6-month project. Think about the next 3 hours. Write in a single line what the next right thing to do is. The next right thing is the one that passed the body test. The one that, when you think about it, the air comes in easier. It might be send that email. It might be make that call. It might be cancel that commitment. Write it, and then act. Do just that one thing. This is the power of Jupiter retrograde in action, amplifying only what is whole. The whole action, however small, attracts the next open door. The action done in contraction only attracts more walls. If the doors have started to move with a new speed, some opening with a light touch, others closing gently in front of you, and if you are beginning to feel the difference between expansion and contraction, the third sign is active. You are no longer fighting against life. You are dancing with it. The fourth sign that the turning of the key is in progress is that the veil moves visibly. The messages begin to arrive, and the mirrors become obvious. Now that the external world has become clear and your internal climate has silenced, you have gained the ability to read the subtle layer of reality. The tuned air of this window, November 15th, makes your field more receptive, and the universe uses this to deliver the directions you were asking for in the midst of the noise. The messages do not come like thunder. They arrive as precise whispers. They come as vivid dreams. You wake up, and for the first time in months, the plot doesn't dissolve in 3 seconds. You remember a specific phrase, a color, a feeling. It is not a chaotic dream. It is a dream with direction. It is your subconscious receiving the sky's briefing, while Mercury retrograde pauses the conscious mind. They come as déjà vu and chained synchronicities. What was chance in the first sign now becomes an insistent pattern. You hear the same phrase 3 times in different places. You see numerical sequences exactly at the moments a decision is made. You get that sudden feeling of, I've lived this before, which is not confusion. It is your energetic field, confirming you are exactly where you should be in the cosmic script. They come as the right encounters. The person who holds the key to your next step appears out of nowhere. An old friend sends you a message that seems to read your mind. A conversation you didn't want to have reveals itself to be the exact mirror of what you needed to see. But here, chosen one, is the crucial point of this window. The mirror of Libra doesn't just show you what is yours. It shows you everything. The field is open, and in the tuned air, your sensitivity increases. This makes you a powerful receiver, but it also makes you vulnerable to what does not belong to you. The key question of this moment, the true test of Libra, is what I am receiving activation or interference? Is it a blessing or is it residue? Activation is the mirror of Libra showing you the path. It comes with the tuned air. Even if the message is challenging, like you need to end this, it lands in your body with a feeling of coherence with rest. You feel the body expand. The message, although hard, returns you to yourself. It simplifies, it clarifies, it gives you the next right thing. Interference is the noise of the world trying to take lodging in your open field. It is someone else's anxiety that you absorb. It is the manufactured urgency of an email. It is the comparison you feel while scrolling the feed. Interference always contracts. It leaves you agitated, confused, and pulls you back to performative peace, to the need to explain yourself. Distinguishing the two is your mastery, and the sky gives you the tool. The anchor gesture for this sign is not to analyze the message, it is to filter the entry. It is the curation of what enters. You do not need to absorb everything just because you are sensitive. When the message arrives, the dream, the synchronicity, someone's words, do not react. Breathe. Ask the body, does it expand or contract? If it expanded, it is activation. Receive it. Give thanks. If it contracted, it is interference. And here, you apply the brief and gentle edge. The edge is not a wall, it is a filter. You don't need to be aggressive, you just recognize the noise and do not invite it in. You say, internally, I see, but this is not mine. I hear. Return to sender. You do not need to answer every message. You do not need to participate in every conversation. You do not need to have an opinion on everything. If your field is more sensitive, if your dreams are vivid, and the synchronicities seem to be drawing a map, and if you are beginning to feel the vital difference between what expands and what contracts, the fourth sign is active. You have stopped being a sponge and started to be a curator. The fifth and final sign that the turning of the key is consolidating is physical, and it is the most subtle of all. Your body begins to ask for rhythm, not peak. The energy of the shift, or activation, is often confused with euphoria. We expect an explosion of energy, a catharsis, a grand event that changes everything. But the mirror of Libra does not work that way. Libra is the scales. It seeks coherence with rest. The tuned air of this window does not ask you to do more. It asks you to be more. And to be, you need rhythm, not exhaustion. You will notice in the next few hours that your body begins to give very simple commands. A thirst that is not usual, asking for real water, not the automatic coffee. A subtle feeling of suffocation, which asks for air on your face, an open window, a break from the screen, a desire to feel the sunlight on your skin for 3 minutes, as if it were food. This is your energetic field, now clearer, asking for the basic elements to settle the new frequency. At the same time, an impulse arises to simplify a corner. You look at your work desk, and suddenly, the mess that was invisible becomes visual noise. You feel the need to tidy a corner, throw away old papers, close a short pending task. This impulse is not productive procrastination. It is your external field trying to mirror the new internal order. It is Jupiter retrograde helping you amplify what is whole, and what is whole is simple. Libra's motto in this window is little and good is greater than much and shallow. The turning of the key is not about doing an entire course in one day. It is about answering that email that has been pending for 3 days. It is not about changing your life. It is about organizing the drawer. Rhythm grounds more than euphoria. Euphoria is a peak that drains. Rhythm is a pulse that sustains. The anchor gesture for this sign is the mini routine of rhythm. When you feel overwhelmed, or on the contrary, when you feel euphoria trying to hijack you into 1,000 ideas at once, stop, breathe, just one complete cycle, feeling the air come in. And then, close one cycle. Close the computer tab you are not using. Wash the cup that is beside you. Send the one-line message that resolves the pending task. One closed cycle. This is the rhythm. It is the practice of closing small loops, one at a time. It is coherence with rest. Each small closed cycle releases your energy from the past and returns it to your present axis. If your body has begun to ask for the basics, water, air, light, and if your mind is more interested in closing a small cycle than in starting a revolution. The fifth sign is active. Your energy has stopped leaking in peaks and has begun to accumulate in rhythm. The key is turning, and the movement is firm. Chosen ones, you have recognized the signs. The world is clear. The internal climate has shifted. The doors are moving. The messages have arrived, and your body is asking for rhythm. Now let's anchor this new frequency. Let's take these signs and transform them into a seal. This is the moment you stop being an observer of the change and become its agent. This is where you actively turn the key. This is not a long or heavy ritual. It is a clean rite, which uses the authority of Libra's mirror, precision, axis, and intention. First, prepare the scene. Stand up. Feel your feet firm on the ground, parallel. Release your shoulders. Find a place where you can feel the air on your face. An open window, a balcony, or a cracked open door is enough. Today's tuned air is a tool. Now the centering breath. We will do 3 cycles. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. Breathe in, counting to 4, and breathe out slowly, counting to 6. Breathe in and release longer. One more time and release. A final time and release, letting go of the noise. Your body's rhythm has just changed. In this silence, activate the Earth-Sky line. Imagine a thin but strong line of light running through the center of your body. It descends from the top of your head, passes through your spine, and goes down to your heels, anchoring you to the earth. With each slow exhale, stretch this line within. Feel your axis aligning. You are not rigid, you are centered. You are the scales of Libra finding the 0 point. Hold this line. Bring the palm of your hand to the center of your chest, on your sternum. Feel the warmth. This is the single decree. Speak it one single time. In a low voice, but with the clarity of someone signing a contract. Speak to your own field. I turn the key. Feel the sentence land in your body. Do not repeat. Let the word work. The key has turned. Now open your eyes. The rite needs a first gesture in the real world. Choose one entry that tunes you. Just one. To do now. It could be drinking a generous glass of water, feeling it cleanse your field. It could be putting your face in the sunlight for 30 seconds. It could be sending that short message that closes a pending task. Or it could be taking a short step on the street, marking the new rhythm. Choose one. Do it. Finally, define the edge of the day. The seal needs a clasp. Choose one rule for the next 24 hours. Say it inwardly, with firmness. Today, I do not open for comparison, or today, I do not open for others' urgency, or today, I do not open for draining conversation. 1. It is enough. This edge is your clean no that protects your internal yes. And if throughout the day the field feels heavy, if the noise returns, use the quick reapplication. Wherever you are, stop. One long exhale, re-establish the Earth-Sky line within instantly, and say internally, sealed. You have just sealed your frequency. What is yours remains. What is not, no longer finds a place to lodge. If you recognize 2 or more signs, and if you sustained the simple rite of the Earth-Sky line, the shift is consolidated. The key has turned. In the next 24 to 72 hours, your work is not to force. It is to integrate. The air remains tuned, and your task is to maintain your axis. Speak little and clearly. Remember, the contour replaces the justification. Close the small cycles, respond to what facilitates, and refuse what drains. Let Mercury retrograde cut the excess talk so your voice has weight, and let Jupiter retrograde amplify only what is whole. The mirror of Libra has returned your authority. Your peace now has edges. What is yours remains. What is not no longer finds resonance. You are no longer reacting to the world. You are in coherence with rest, and the world is beginning to respond to your center. This is the true meaning of turning the key. It is not an explosion, it is an alignment. It is not an external event that saves you, it is an internal decision that centers you. You stopped waiting for the world to give you permission and used the sky's mirror to give yourself your own authority. What was once noise is now silence. What was effort is now flow. What was doubt is now access. You no longer need to perform to belong, you simply are. And your field, now sealed, only allows what resonates with this truth to approach. Remember this when the test comes, and it will come. The world will test your new edges, not to tear you down, but to show you how firm your new center has become. Every clean no you give, every time you choose rhythm over peak, you will be reinforcing the seal. To seal this culmination and declare to the universe that you have accepted your new axis, transform this listening into your final decree. Go to the comments and anchor your turning of the key, short and clear. I turn the key. Let the simple do the work.